Hey, good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. You're warmly welcome to the World Youth Skills Day 2026 virtual session hosted by CLEIIN Africa at Geek Talents Program 2026. My name is Juliana Mava, and I'm delighted to be a moderator for today's event. So quickly in the comment section, can you let me know where you're joining us from? Okay, I can see messages coming in. Greetings from Zambia. I can see from Kaduna. You're all welcome. It's a pleasure to have you all here. Whether you're joining us as an EcoGeek participant, a student, a young professional, entrepreneur, climate advocate, or simply someone interested in building relevant skills for the future, we are excited to have you all here today. So before we begin, let's make this interactive. I would like everyone to type in the comments just one skill. Type in the chat one skill that you believe will remain valuable no matter how much the world changes. Just one skill you believe will remain valuable no matter how much the world changes. So let's see your responses. Drop your responses. One skill that you believe will remain valuable no matter how much the world changes. Interesting. I can see responses, communication skills. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. One skill that you believe will remain valuable no matter how much the world changes. Solar power installation. Wow. Let's keep it coming. Soap production. Nice. Tech. Sales. Let's keep it coming. Recycle skills. Wow, I'm already seeing skills, a lot of skills, communication, recycle, tech, digital skills, solar power installation. Let's keep it coming. And many others. Let's just keep it coming. The truth is, let's keep it coming, let's keep it coming. The truth is that while industries continue to evolve, people who continuously learn and adapt will always remain relevant. And that is exactly why World Youth Skills Day a lot. So quickly, I will just briefly tell us a little about World Youth Skills Day. Yeah, I can see food production. Let's keep it coming. Just keep it coming. Tech skills, keep it coming. So quickly, every year, World Youth Skills Day reminds us of the importance of equipping young people with the skills needed to thrive in an increasingly changing world. This year's theme, Skills for a Shared Future, challenges us to think beyond personal success and consider how our skills can contribute to stronger communities, sustainable development, innovation, and a better future for everyone. So today's conversation is therefore not just about getting jobs, it's about preparing ourselves to solve problems, create opportunities, and continue and contribute meaningfully to our society. So let's keep it coming. I can see candle wax production skills, Vaseline production. That's lovely. Let's keep them coming. Okay, so before we proceed, let's do one more quick exercise in the chat box. Okay, so I want you all to complete this sentence. The one skill I wish I had learned earlier is, then you complete it. The one skill I wish I had learned earlier is, let's hear from you. One skill you wished you learned earlier. Let's hear it from you. Digital and tech literacy. Soft skills. Food production. Security production. Let's keep it coming. Public speaking. That's a good one. GSM repair. That's a nice one. All right. Thank you, everyone. I think many of us can relate to those responses. Let's keep the responses coming. I could have gone to film school earlier. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep the responses coming. Well, the good thing is that it is never too late to learn, grow, and reinvent ourselves. So it's never too late. There's no skill that is late to learn. It is never too late for us to learn green skills. All right, so to guide today's conversation, we are pleased to have with us Mr. Mayowa Onioshun, who will be leading today's session. Mr. Mayowa has been actively involved in youth development, sustainability education, leadership development, and preparing young people for opportunities within the green economy and beyond. Today, he will be sharing insights on importance of future-ready skills, opportunity for young people, and practical steps we can take to remain relevant in an ever-changing world. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Mayowa Onioshun. Mr. Mayowa, thank you
Thank
for
you.
being here. Today, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much, Madam Juliana. And it's a pleasure, as always, once again, to be joining this very honorable uh, gathering. I mean, when we have opportunities like this to interact and exchange knowledge, it is something that I always love to harness. So, because I just believe knowledge can be found almost anywhere. And it doesn't matter that you're the speaker or anything whatsoever, even in spaces like this, even just right now that we started, I guess the others they have taught me a lesson. You look at the direction of thoughts, what people are thinking about the skills, how it has evolved, looking ahead into the future. It's already given me some insights on what possibly can I contribute to ensure that we all see this future that people desire. However, since you have so wished that I still have a thing or two to add to the discussion this very afternoon. I guess you permit me to share my screen and so that each and every one of us can enjoy this discussion together. Once again, it is my delight to welcome each and every one of you to this masterclass. I see Ganiat Jayola saying it's good to have me. Of course, I am delighted to be with you on this section today as well. And believe me, I really don't know what we should expect together, but I'm just hoping that by the time we are done with this session this afternoon, I just hope and pray that it will be worth your time. So, real quick as we get started, I really want to see how ready you were for this session. I don't know. I just always love it when people are curious. When people just desire knowledge so much. While I was preparing this presentation, something kept coming to my mind that we are saying the theme for World Youth Skills Day 2026 is skills for a shared future. What's on its own is a shared future? Because I don't just want us to be marking dates alone without knowing the relevance or having an in-depth understanding of what we are actually celebrating. So, and that is, causing me to ask you, while I would want to read your contributions now, what do you think a shared future is? And please, if it is possible, I don't want you doing a high check or using your search engine. I just want what do you perceive a shared future to be? Whatever your understanding about it is very much welcome. That we are here to learn together, right? And of course, no one is an island of knowledge. So if you peradventure didn't get it right, we would learn together from someone else who's on the call that will probably, share the correct. So when you hear shared future, what comes to mind, everybody? Shared future. In the best, simplest, way that you can interpret it. To you, what do you call a shared future? Yeah, I see. Greetings are still ongoing in the chat. Of course, the session is still fresh, so it is very much expected. So, who is helping us with a shared future? Or is it because I've said we shouldn't use search engines or AI that's delaying the answer? Of course, just two words, right? Shared and future. Yes, Sulaiman, it's glad to have you here also. So let's learn together. Shared future, everybody who is helping us. Yeah, Ganiat Jayola said, a fair future is a future with fair access to opportunity. A shared future is a future with fair access to opportunities. Let's note it. Thank you very much, Ganiat. Do we have more contributions coming? Yes. Anesu said, he thinks a shared future is where the generation is getting the equal shares in terms of their expected needs and the future generation. Nice. Sunday said a shared future is a future with zero hunger. Wow, wow, wow. I think I'm enjoying these contributions that are coming in. Do we have about one or two more before we move ahead? But already, even with the few ones that we have, I want to believe that yes. Edu Muchanga said he's already amazed by what he has learned. Ah, nice, good. Okay, so we have someone saying a shared future will help reduce local emissions. All right. Fantastic contributions, everybody. Great contributions. Let's continue to keep it coming. So when I talk about shared future, I will try as much as possible to give it to you in the possible simplest way that I can. Already, I think I enjoyed the contribution that Anesu gave us by saying, it is a future where the generation is getting the equal share in terms of their expected needs. And also, Ganiat already gave us a very strong one also, that it is a future with fair access to opportunities. So I will just add very little contribution to that to say that a shared future refers to understanding, collective understanding that the resources within our environment belongs to all of us. I say again that a shared future is a collective understanding that the resources within our environment belongs to all of us and must be preserved for the betterment of all. So while I said that now, you would not want to say that, oh, this is somewhat deep. How then do we break it down? And in breaking it down is where you now have such contributions from Sunday, which says a future with zero hunger. That's to be a shared future by Sunday's perspective. For another person, which said a future with reduced emission, it is also very, very correct. And, I can also say it is a future requiring collective global action to solve borderless challenges like climate change, pandemic, and economic inequality. So we are saying now that a shared future is a future that allows all of us to live based on our expectations in wellness and while we are preserving the resources available to us for the future generation. So, I want to now ask you a question. Now that we understand what a shared future is, and Madam Juliana has done well to sample, the skills that you would enjoy. Oh, okay. I see another comment here before we move ahead. Edu Muchanga said, in line with our vision of a green and sustainable future, I propose we design an awareness initiative for the. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yes. That's also it makes sense, right? Yeah, it's something that is possible. Yeah, correct. So as we progress into this now, I want to believe you can already connect the skills that you were talking about earlier when Madam Juliana was sampling your skill, choices with how to position for a shared future. But before we go on, you would see that this topic, we've coined it out in a way to bring it within the environment of our ongoing program. To say that this afternoon, what I'll be sharing with you is green skills for a shared future with EcoGig. Green skills for a shared future with EcoGig. Now, there is a question that I want each and every one of you to answer. And when I thought about the question, it got me myself thinking of many things. That, well, I wouldn't know whether some persons have also thought about it in times past. But the question is very simple, and I would love you people to contribute to it. The question is, what innovation in history do you think has done the most damage to the environment? I repeat, what innovation in history do you think has done the most damage to the environment? Because when we are talking about shared future, we must understand what the drivers are, and we must also understand what posits themselves as challenges to this shared future. Have you thought about it before? The innovation that has done the most damage to the environment. So let me see what you think about. Let me see what you think about. Which innovation has done the most damage to the environment? And it doesn't mean that it's a universal answer. It may be your perspective. Ideas are supposed to be different. Oh, Ganiat said oil discovery and its exploration. Okay. Ganiat has made her own opinion known. Yes. Any other person, which innovation in history has done the most damage to the environment? Or, maybe the question got you thinking the exact way it got me when I actually thought about that question. When I got the question myself, I was thinking around and saying, oh, really? Oh, someone is saying the use of coal as a fuel. The use of coal as a fuel. Okay, that's nice. No problems. More. Do we have more? Okay. So, we can still say that, oh, plastics. All right. So one thing is common. Okay, someone said introduction of machines in the first industrial revolution. Mm. But you know that the introduction of machines in the first industrial revolution, bettered economic it's bettered economic sustainability for you know many nations. It was from that first industrial revolution that many nations, the nations that we consider to be first world countries now, that was from where many of them were able to amass the resources to build their economy and all of that. So let's move along. One thing that is certain is that we have contributed in our ways some certain things that we consider to be somewhat, it was supposed to be a solution, but somewhat ended up, you think they end up damaging the environment. But let's talk about the first three things that the other people said: the oil discovery, the use of coal, and the plastics. I think all of those would definitely fall in the category of fossil fuels. So, why fossil fuel is not an innovation, anyways? That was not an innovation. It was, I think, plastic would be like a form of an innovation from fossil fuel, right? So maybe if we're talking about plastics now, so that person consider Uche, right? Consider plastic to be an innovation that has done the most damage to the environment. Okay, that's fine. However, looking at the other two contributions, coal and oil discovery, those were at, oh yes, I love this answer now. Edu Muchanga said the steam engine, which is a fossil fuel combustion. So, it says it unlocked unprecedented industrial growth, but triggered massive carbon emission and atmospheric shift that we are fighting to reverse today. Fantastic, fantastic. So I think the steam engine could be an innovation that, you know, form a background to many problems we are having today, right? However, let me not take you deep into many of these things. We have that question. You can go and think about it. You can argue about it, find more knowledge about it online, and take a position. But the good thing is that we quite understand now from several contributions that it seems like fossil fuel, whether by its usage, by the tech around it, it seems like many contributions agree that it has done more harm to the environment. And that is now bringing us now that if right until today, these are the challenges we have, how then can we go into a future that we don't have to think about damages again? How can we go into the future with readiness and preparation in our heart that the future holds and provides a better opportunity for all of us? So, in this masterclass this evening, okay, so Menda Moses said that he thinks the damage extent depends on the continent. Of course, right? It's when we talk about the oil now, it's not all continents that have equal access to oil, right? So it definitely where oil is discovered that there is a possibility that more damages would be done and all of that. Though there are several approaches around it, but of course, the actuality we have today, probably around Africa, is that many places where oil were discovered, They don't have a good environmental quality right about today. And another person here is saying mining activities. Yes, mining activities too, but all of these things that you people are talking about are activities, they are really not innovation. So I want you to think deeper, to look at the angle of innovation. Let it not be the activity, right? Let's look at an innovation. And let's take, for example, maybe one of the things that I thought about or found out. Okay, maybe one of the things that I found out when I was making further research about this was an invention by a particular man. Uh, well, let me not share the name now. So, what the man discovered was lead. And I want all of you to go and read about lead. And, when you read about lead, it is possible that you would have more understanding as to how much good or how much damages that lead has possibly done. So, but then let's move ahead. What are we looking at? We are looking at transitioning from an economy or from a system where we see a lot of damages being done to the environment to a kind of a future where everybody have an equal opportunity. And in today's masterclass, what we'll be looking at is, since the topic is skills for a shared future, skills for a shared future, we'll be looking at talent absorption, we'll be looking at in-demand roles, we'll be looking at entry points and employers' expectation. Don't forget, the reason why we are all here this afternoon is we want to learn how best we can contribute to this shared future. Over the course of 11 weeks now, for fellows of the Eco Gig Talent Program, you've been exposed to diverse uh, pathways and opportunities within the green economy. However, a particular question continues to arise over and over again, even until the last session that we had. Some of you would say, I don't have a technical skill. Are you sure this green economy is for me? Some of you, on the other hand, would say, oh, uh, I've been trying to put my feet within this economy for some time, and it appears as if I can't navigate it successfully. I don't know what is going on and all of that. So this masterclass now is to help you to set the line straight, and importantly, help you to understand that you necessarily don't need somewhat totally new skills to be able to contribute to a shared future. And even in cases where you need to upskill yourself, which areas should you upskill yourself? Don't forget that there is something going on now. While the global world and highly developed countries, while they are moving and restructuring their educational syllabus towards the future of work, for many of us in Africa, we are still very much backwards, and we are still being taught with about 10, 15 years ago syllabus, which is already telling you that we are not being exposed to the knowledge that the world will be using in the next 10 years. And if you don't take actions now, it may be difficult to compete in the next 10 years. If I'm not wrong, I think I was reading it last week that in the past 3 months, that in China, they've modified their academic syllabus and removed not less than 500 courses. I hope I'm not wrong. So I think they said they've removed about not less than 500 courses and replaced them with more recent courses, trying to prepare their students and their youths ahead for maybe the fifth industrial revolution, as you may have it and all of that. But then what is the fate of an average African that doesn't have access to this exposition already? It then means that we must look for opportunities to make ourselves useful, to also position somewhere where we can hold on the mantle of leadership and say that, oh, we too were very relevant in this angle. So importantly, that is what this section aims to do today and guide your direction and thoughts as to what the future holds. So moving ahead, you may have tried at some point to look at what are the sectors within the green economy and how well are roles available for you to benefit from. So on your screen right now, you will see the ranking of the top green sectors. And when I say the top green sectors now, this that you're saying, okay, Ganiat is actually maybe she's confirming what I'm saying about how some persons have moved ahead. He said she was shocked to discover that in South Carolina they have been recycling plastic waste into degradable bag called solo bag. Of course, the solo bag you're talking about, I'm even glad to tell you that it didn't originate at South Carolina. At the time when solo bags came out, there was one that came out from India. Some two guys in India were the ones that discovered, and I think the second set that was discovered was, I think it was from one African country here. The guys that came up also, I think these other guys that were able to discover it on the African continent here, they discovered it with the use of, they decided to make use of, I think it's cassava flakes or something like that. I think cassava flakes. So it's as good as after, if you use the bag, if you drop the bag even outside, the bag naturally degrades to become what's it called, to become soil. It's become soil. And even if you don't want to do that, once you pick the bag and you drop the bag inside water, the bag dissolves inside water. So there are several innovations coming in to tackle problems. And also, there are so many of such innovations around Africa here. The good thing is, if you just take your time to, in fact, this can just be some things that you do in your leisure hour because it helps you, it reorients you, it puts you on your feet to say that, oh, people are doing amazing things. What can I also contribute? So there are several innovations that are coming out almost every day, tackling one problem or the other. So moving ahead, these are the top green sectors by talent absorption. That is, the ones that are recruiting talent the most. They have been outlined for you. And from here now, you can see that renewable energy still continues to be the biggest for now. However, stay with me. I'll give you a secret when we get to around maybe the slide 8 or something like that. After the renewable energy, the next sector that is massively absorbing talent is the green the green building or green construction. You can either call it green building or green construction. That is another sector that is also absorbing massive talents within the green economy. Sustainable agriculture also is sitting there at number 3. Clean transport and e-mobility. You would flow with me, please, so that you can move along with me. So you can see clean transport there. You can see waste management. You can see ESG and green finance. Now, I want you to pay attention because as we move ahead, I don't want you to get confused. These things will change. The first one we are talking about here now, these 6 sectors are the ones that are absorbing talents massively, massively. And of course, now, renewable energy, because of the energy transition drive, that is why it seems like renewable energy is, growing fast right about now with roles such as solar installers, technicians, and all of those. And the more renewable energy is moving, buildings are transitioning also from the traditional construction style to adopt energy efficiency now. And that is why right about today you see many houses having their solar panel on it. There are so many other operations within the building now that are energy efficient instead of the previous energy intensive kind of constructions that we have. So there are so many things that makes this happen. So if you look on at this college graph that is right in front of you now, it confirms to you that renewable energy is still like the biggest job numbers globally, and you have energy efficient and green constructions to also be the next, and this is how it's moving. However, for many people who have always complained to say that they don't have technical skills, there are provisions for you, and just follow up accordingly, because right about now I am moving to commonly advertised green roles. Many of you have said you really don't know, where all these roles are advertised. You don't get to see such opportunities. I want to assure you, by the grace of God, the next section, I mean the section that will close out Echo Geek for these cohorts would actually be taking you to where those opportunities are, so that you can see them and apply to them yourself. However, when you look at your screen right now, the jobs that are on this screen, they are the technical roles that are mostly advertised. The technical roles that are mostly advertised. And you can still see there that it's still almost like the last six that we had. The only thing there now is that for people who may be looking to build skills, you may look at any of these roles. They are most feasible job advertisements that you will see. Almost every day, there are several millions of solar technicians that are needed all over the world. There are several thousands of energy system engineers that are needed all over the world. And if you are not concerned with the energy and infrastructure, if it is on built environment, that's green buildings and energy efficiency, many green building engineers are being sought after daily. We are always looking for sustainable architects, people who can design the kind of structure that is sustainable, that is able to operate on its own, a kind of a structure that minimizes waste and maximizes the available natural resources around it. And such structures are the ones that we have many of them now. We have many of them, even certified ones. We call them certified green buildings. Uh, if you're, of course, for almost every country on the African continent, you have a green building council. If you go to the website of the green building council of your country, you will see there several buildings within your country that have been certified green. I think there are about 3 green certifications for every building, depending on the best that the structure is able to achieve in the category of the 3. So same thing goes for agriculture. You would see climate smart agricultural officers. People are almost looking for them almost all the time. Businesses are always looking for agribusiness specialists or agri-tech specialists. At these times, they are looking for people who can use precision farming tools, use drones. Even I was able to see a particular innovation sometimes ago when I checked into an innovation hub. So there was this particular product. I think the person called this eye gel. The eye gel is made in a way that it can survive in, I think, in an arid region. So maybe it's more like in a pod that once you put it into the soil, it's a climate resistant solution anyways. So, and I think I've seen one also before that it happens to be in a pod like coal like this, that once you put it inside the soil, it digs into the soil to go and establish the root so that even when there is no water or the climate is not being friendly, it still can sustain and grow. So people are looking for several persons with this kind of ideas like that, like that. So you please follow up with my screen so that you can easily catch up the other angle. Don't forget, we are touching across different industry. We are touching across different industries. So you can also see for waste management, circular economy and waste, you can also see the highly sought after roles. You can still waste management officer, uh, circular economy specialist, such roles, they are there being advertised every day. And you can also look at sustainability, ESG, and corporate. This one now is even one of the fastest growing right now. One of the fastest, just this week. I can't mention how many ESG events that have come on my wall, and even roles, ESG roles that are you can see there. People are looking for sustainability officers. And the good thing, these are not technical roles. Especially many of the ESG roles are not really technical like that. They are almost like knowledge based. They are knowledge based, and you can actually get the knowledge. There are courses and trainings where you are trained to become a carbon accounting specialist or a sustainability reporting officer, wherein you'll be working with global reporting standards like GRI, ISSB, and such other. It's more like you're just writing reports. Is reports writing technical, not really technical like that. And for you as a sustainability officer, it may just mean that you're working to oversee the whole organization to ensure that they achieve energy efficiency operation, waste minimization, you engage carbon offsetting for your carbon emissions and such practices that positions you as a sustainability firm or organization. So not all really needs technical skill. And the same goes for number 7 here, which is on policy research and data. For policy research and data today, almost anyone, I'm saying it now, almost anyone can work in data and research and policy. Almost anyone. In fact, with the availability of tools within our reach these days, you don't even have, long before now, when people would analyze data for days and all of that. These days now, with several tools available to you, even you that has no expertise or you are not a trained data scientist, you can easily analyze data at the comfort of your home or even on your mobile right there. And I think another one that I want you to pay attention to now is the community youth and development skill. I want you to pay attention to that one. Just catch up the update there. Those ones don't even need any technical skill whatsoever. They do not need any technical skill whatsoever. And, it's back on your screen now. You can still see it there. The other angle that I want you to pay attention to also that offers, as a matter of fact, these two on your screen now, these two on your screen, I want you to pay good attention to it. Good attention to it. See this finance, funding, and investment sector. This funding, finance, and investment sector. The jobs there are, in small numbers. They are not highly advertised almost every, like, it's not like they're not advertised, they are very well advertised, but the roles within that sector, they are not as much as you will find in renewable energy. They are not as more as renewable energy. So in green, when you talk about finance, funding, and investment now, maybe some of you would see there was this woman that a video came viral sometimes, maybe last 2 weeks or so, where this school of ad knock guy interviewed her. This guy always goes around asking, "Are you a billionaire? I want you to, speak to my audience for like 1 minute," and stuff like that. That woman, when she was asked that, what do you need to be able to work? She actually works in investment. And when she was asked that, what skills do you need? She said it publicly there that you don't really need any specialized skill, and which is true. And she actually is a billionaire within that line. So, all this one now, it just actually, oh, someone even helps with the name. Adesuwa Rhodes. Yeah, thank you very much. You know, you just look at that kind of person. She's not holding spanners or wearing helmet on her head, and she's well positioned in a place where almost nobody even notice her, where nobody even understand how much of billions she's getting from that sector. So you can be a green finance analyst, you can be a climate investment officer. And I want to give you a practical example here now, so that when you leave this session, you are able to go back and make further findings. For this, I will give an example of 3 examples here. In fact, 3 good examples here, which I want you to pay attention to. You don't need special skills. You don't need special certifications. Whatever your education is right about now, you can fit into these 3 positions that I want to talk about. The first one is the climate investment officer, the carbon market specialist, and sustainable finance consultant. Let me start with carbon market specialist. What happened? I'm not really be doing the areas that can confuse you. Let me just give you like an example that has gets you kick you off almost immediately. There's something we call green bonds, and green bonds now is being traded. It's being traded. It's just to say that okay, there are these companies because they are high emitters or they are high polluters. Let's say like all of us now on this call today, they have allocated five green bonds to us. All of us have five green bonds, and because we all have diverse needs now, maybe Madam Juliana now she has sold 3 out of her green bonds. She's only left with 2. And maybe I happen to be the one that bought Madam Juliana's green bond. Why did I buy a green bond? They've told me that by the time I emit this, maybe 1,000, oh no, this so CO2, let's say when I emit a particular CO2 to a particular extent, they would have to deduct my green bond. And because our operation needs to continue, we need to continue production. The next thing that we can do now, if we must continue to produce, is that we now start to buy green bonds from other people who have it and are not using it. So we continue to buy the green bond. So that's market now where green bonds is being traded is under this finance funding and investment. You don't really need to be an expert. Sometimes you even just you can just be a broker between people who have green bonds and organizations who have green bonds. And maybe to simplify it much more, all of us, we've been always hearing and talking about carbon offsetting. Carbon offsetting. This is how carbon offsetting works. There is a company or an organization in the US that have their carbon offset limits. And because there are no forest reserves in US now, and there are forest reserves here in Africa. So these companies will say that they are coming to buy about 30 acres of forest here in Africa. So when they buy these 30 acres of forest here in Africa, if they pollute to a particular level there in the US, whenever they show the certification for this 30 acres of forest that they have bought here in Africa, they can always equate it to say that, oh, they have paid for their level of offsetting. So all these things happen in a market. And that market now, we call it the green investment market. In that market, there are serious opportunities. And maybe for some of you who actually does stocks and bonds or crypto trading, green bond market and carbon financing and all those things, green financing, they are almost relative to the kind of operations that operates within stock and crypto market and all these bonds and all. So you can actually look into it and study. And another one that I want you to pay attention to also, these ones are hybrid roles. They are not really a one-way um, role like that. One of the very easy one that about anybody can do that is highly demanded today is climate communication officers. There are many organizations that are looking for climate communication officers. It may come in different titles or in different job description, but practically, what it is still all about is almost everyone on this call today can actually be a climate communication officer. Because I want to believe that at one point or the other, if you have been a beneficiary of our program, we must have trained you well and given you the needed green foundational knowledge to be a climate communication officer. I remember when we were taking green foundational learning, maybe for some of you, you confirmed that you were hearing some things that you were not really familiar with before, and they have really helped you to build your understanding even before we now came into the specialized pathways of the green economy. So, and the good thing about this again, before I leave there, I'd intended I just wanted to mention it to you. There is another angle of the green economy. Let me just say it now so that because after now I'll be rushing, I need to manage time. There is another angle of the green economy that favors everybody. What anybody that you are, it's good for you. And I call that the creative economy or the creative sector within the green economy. If this is not posted anywhere or coined anywhere, I think I just thought about it and I just gave it that name, that the creative sector within the green economy. And one of that, I'm building on these climate communications to talk about that. Do you know that right about today, you can become a content creator that the only thing that you're dishing out is breaking down climate, sustainability, green economy, and all of that. When you do that, what you are indirectly doing is climate communications. Do you need technical skills to be able to do that? If you sit down at the comfort of your house and you pick up your phone, you can actually curate several topics. You can create several resources and even become a thought leader that will always be expecting that, oh, when this person drops content, definitely this is what is going to come from that. So you don't need anybody to approve you to find your feet within the green economy. That is just one good thing that I want you to leave this section with today. Another thing that is not very common within the creative sector that I'm talking about now is how many people do you really see that are doing tourism, ecotourism? Ecotourism, digital content, they are not very popular yet. And many of you can harness it and key into it, especially, people who are around Rwanda, Kenya, Sierra Leone, and, certain areas like that. Digital ecotourism. The first time that I saw Oxford, that I toured Oxford University, the first time I toured Oxford University, I wasn't in UK. I toured Oxford University from the comfort of my room. It was when I was having one of my programs in Oxford University, and just for us to have a sense of what it is. So that day, the tour was organized, and we were shown through. In fact, I would describe Oxford University to you, even when I haven't been there then, to much as same person who is on that campus every day that I've seen everything there. So this is another angle where you can position yourself. Can you look at, say that within my state, can we actually tour eco sites within my state? Can you take people on an experience You just have to. And funny enough, some of you even have specific, maybe sometimes some animals that are not commonly seen every day or that is going into extinction. Now, I'm even talking about the audiovisual aspect of this creative sector of the green economy now. You can build a whole life around audiovisual content that the only thing you just do is maybe, you just snap pictures of certain animals. And that is what you are posting every day. You just see a particular tree and you are telling people the story behind that tree. You are able to tell people that, oh, look at this. Is it honey badger now? This honey badger, there are only this number of it in the world around now. They are almost going into extinction. I'm not saying honey badgers are going into extinction anyways. I'm just saying that you want to tell some stories around whatever you have chosen. Oh, this particular tree, this is the health benefits, but people continues to cut it down. You can be what when you do all of these things, you build content around things, you are just doing a climate communications officer. And the good thing about it is this: it one of the ways you can earn income from it is that, one, some persons may end up coming to you to say that, oh, there's this particular picture you posted, I want to buy it. And when they buy it, they pay you. Secondly, some persons, when a conference is happening within your state or your country, and they understand and know you to have been a good guide, even when no one was watching, they could easily just jump and call on you and say that, oh, Kazim, come here. We are coming into Kenya tomorrow, and we need you to give us a tour of the city. What you were just doing and doing for fun, just enjoying your life, it becomes a source of income for you. Some persons may see that you've done so much work around it, and they just call you that, see, all this knowledge that you're always sharing online. We have a conference happening in Johannesburg, or let's say in US. We want you to come and make a little presentation around all of this. What has the experience been? And it's a fully funded trip. So there are several other aspects of it like that. There is sustainability partnership manager. You don't need any special certification or college degree for this. It's just to broker partnership between different organizations and focuses, and much more. Maybe for the young persons and Gen Zs are on the call today, they will love anything around green innovation and startup. But the good thing is that even this role here is Green Innovation and Startup Program Manager. Program Manager. I tell you for free. No, you don't need any college degree to be a program manager. And the good thing is, you don't even need to hone an innovation yourself or have the skill or the idea of a particular innovation before you can become a program manager. What does a program manager do? There is going to be an innovation contest now. Your own is just to ensure that, or let me say, either program manager or project manager, your own is just to ensure that all the activities that you have planned, they happen accordingly from the start to the finish. Take, for example, this program now. Almost every week, according to the timeline that we have given to you, since the start of EcoGeek to now, we have not failed at all at it. We have not had any reason to tell you that, oh, this particular day, there is not going to be section. Or I want to believe we have not disappointed. So if by the end of this program, we were able to achieve everything that was spelled out in the brochure that was released to you, then it will mean that the program manager behind the EcoGeek Talent program have actually done an amazing job. And do you really need any degree for that? No, you don't need any degree for that. You can just, almost anybody can be a program manager. And I think it is a delight to tell you that opportunities of such even exist at CLEIIN Africa, right? In the coming days, we'll be opening up our doors to many of you who would like to. We have a program wherein people get trained in diverse leadership development skills, especially when it comes to becoming an asset to the development sector. So we have continuously trained people. People have graduated from the program several times, and they are, I think they are doing excellently well in areas where they have found themselves. So forging ahead now the we have actually talked about the technical aspect, right? We've done well with technical aspect. So the other angle that we're going to be talking about now is ranking of green jobs by advertisement. By advertisement. Don't forget, when I got to ESG at the other time, I told you that just this week, the number of ESG related both events and roles that have come to my wall, it's it's a lot. It's a lot. And this is confirming it to you again that one of the most frequently advertised roles. Now, get it right. There are differences in what we are talking about. The first one that we finished are the ranking of job by talent absorption, how industries absorb talent. But this one now, we are talking about the frequency of advertisement. To say that if you need a green job today, the one you would most likely find easily, that is almost advertised every minute, it will be ESG and renewable project roles. And I've explained what all of these are. And possibly we are looking forward to possibility of having an ESG, maybe we'll have an ESG section in August. Sorry, please. I think we had one. We had one this month, or was it last month? Okay, I think it was last month, the last week of last month. It seems those who were on that section that day, they had a great time. So possibly, if all things work for us, we could possibly have another section on ESG in August, so that since it is not really a technical sector, some of you can actually key into it as much as you can understand the industry. And it is a fast growing Gary had said I'm directly addressing there are things you do particularly on WhatsApp, though it sometimes feel like no one is interested. But with what I have said, she will keep at it. I'm telling you, don't stop. Don't stop. When you think people are not interested, it will just surprise you someday when somebody will just call you and say, okay, that thing that you're always posting. It's like I heard people talking about it yesterday that they needed someone who can come and teach them in a particular place, and they are saying they're going to be paying about $500. That is the day you realize that it's not as if people don't see what you're doing. So please just keep up what you're doing. Yeah. So talking about advertisement frequency now, I've said it, your ESG, renewable, and project roles, they are the very highly advertised roles. They are the highly advertised roles. And I've explained to you how you don't need any special skill for this. Also, in tier two, you have policy, agriculture, and green building based on advertisement frequency. And tier three, you have waste, clean water, and all of that. And in tier four, you have green finance, law and governance, which of course I have explained before. So the next series of slides, they will just be talking directly or showing you the roles directly, which are in each of those tiers. They will just be showing you the roles directly in each of those tiers. And I think I want to speak now to I'll be moving ahead now. I've talked about many of the other things. So right now, the next thing I want to talk about is to help you to consider the roles at a glance. That is because I think I have heard that question before, or maybe someone has asked it on the community that I'm just someone that just finished college. this is this, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go, all this and all of that. So this is your point now. If you're looking for entry level role within the green economy, this is what you want to look at. The left here, this very green box is talking about the most advertised green roles. If you actually have any skill within all of these most advertised green roles, it means that you are good to go. Just shoot and apply immediately. All right? Just shoot and apply immediately. And even if you don't have any skill in it, the next thing you can do is you want to build a skill. You want to build a skill within any of these most advertised green roles. However, if you are not considering any of those, the next good thing that you have here, sorry guys, the next good thing that you have here are the roles that are available and open to entry level. You are just finished college, or you are not even done with college. You just feel like, I'm just stepping into the green economy. Where can I start with? You see here, you can start as a project officer or a project assistant. All these renewable energy companies, renewable energy projects, programs, maybe fellowships and all of that, or it is the innovation, the anything around that. You can start with being a project officer or a project assistant. This, it's easy to come by and you don't need serious expertise or, you know, critical skills for this. You just need the proper skill of a project officer and project assistant. And what are those skills? Maybe calendar management, report writing, a bit of data analysis, and like that. Oh, Sulaiman is saying very insightful knowledge, well imparted learning. Oh, no, yeah, it's one of those things. Thank you for calling. So if you don't want to go for programs officer slash project assistant, I have mentioned earlier, sustainability and ESG associate is another role that you can easily fill in. Almost all the banks right about today, they are trying to go deep in ESG and sustainability. Banks, investment platforms, they are trying to take a position within this field. And actually, I don't really like it that it is that sector that is trying to take a position, because I just want this position, especially around sustainability and ESG, to be democratized. That even if everybody on this call can be an ESG, okay, I'm enjoying news. Okay, we'll come to that. So, if everybody can have the ESG knowledge, uh you easily, instead of banks coming in to decide what happens within that space, you become a talent which banks will be looking for to come and help them to build a structure, their ESG and sustainability reporting structure, within their firm. The other thing that is there that you can look at is monitoring and evaluation assistant. Monitoring and evaluation assistant. For monitoring and evaluation, you really don't need so much thing than to be able to help institutions and organizations to evaluate their operation. You want to evaluate their operation to tell them whether their operations, they are profitable, they are beneficial to the public. So, these are some other things that you want to look into. You want to look at how you want to monitor operations and evaluate the operational standard of organization. There are so many others there: research assistants, environmental or climate officer, and the one I mentioned earlier, which was communication and advocacy assistant. Now, for those entry level roles, what are recruiters looking for? What are recruiters looking for? one thing that you can do for yourself now, if you're looking to position for any entry level role right about today, is to ensure that these ones are not really technical skills like that. They are just like basic skills. Look at this one now, project management and reporting. Right about today, everybody can actually do reporting. It's as simple as when we finish this section and I say, let everyone that have attended this section today, let them write a report of this section. You can write it. In fact, you can try to use it and do an assignment for you to see whether you are already having some skills which can be profitable. What about project management? I told you earlier what it is all about. It is just helping to achieve a vision within a specific time frame. Any project whatsoever, it doesn't matter. You can always manage it or assist with it. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be until when they are building the largest power plants, that is project management. No, it is not when they are constructing road that is project management. No, it can come from normal everyday operation. In fact, this section that we are having now, if we're able to have this section successfully today, it is a function of good project management. All right. Yeah, this person is asking that is there also climate or environmental enumerator at entry level? Of course. Of course. We just mentioned monitoring and evaluation here now. Yourself as an enumerator, what are you doing? You are working on data. See your screen here. Data analysis and digital tool. They are the kind of skills that employers are looking for at even every role, not even like just entry level, but actually they are great for entry level. Evaluator and environmental enumerator, they are entry level roles, and you actually need data analysis, level of proficiency. You will need to be able to work with some reporting software, which of course right about today, because of AI all over, you can do some things without serious proficiency in them. And when it comes to climate and sustainability literacy, this you don't even need any. You don't. The only thing you want to do here is I'd mentioned it earlier when I was talking about the creative sector within the green economy. Climate and sustainability literacy. You are looking using the knowledge that you already have, and stakeholder engagement, policy awareness, research, and analysis. These are some of those things that recruiters are looking for. However, there are still some emerging entry level opportunities. This one are emerging entry level. They are not crowded yet. So if you want to position, you can probably position within this angle now because they are not crowded yet. They are not so much talked about yet. So if you have the opportunity of becoming a technician trainee, you can look for such opportunities. Seplat, IRENA, and several other renewable energy focused organizations are there that will be willing to take you into their internship programs or for you to become a training with them. Climate data, for that person that was asking a question about enumerator that time, you can see now it's an emerging entry level opportunity. Climate data, GIS, you can decide to be an assistant, do stuffs. So you don't think, as a matter of fact, I think the next section, which will be a specialized training or so that I'll be taking, will be somewhat maybe focused on every job is a green job. I already have the topic. So maybe if I have the time, I'll build some resources around it. And that could be the next masterclass that I'll be taking, you guys. If God spares our lives and we have the opportunity, I think one of these days I could just take all of you on every job is a green job like that. So it helps you to really know that It's not until when you are a solar technician or you are an automotive whether EV expert and all of this thing that you can actually several opportunities are bound within the green economy. So you see it there, field officers, green innovation and startup program management assistant, and clean mobility support roles. Yeah, even all the big things, big projects happening, there is opportunity for you as entry level person within even all the big projects that are happening. So you just need to look beyond the big names that they are mentioning. And the good thing, what I want you to leave this session with today is, as I'm living here today, if someone asks me, what can I do within the green economy? Am I able to answer them that yes, this, in fact, I want you to after today's session like this, I want you to be able to say it boldly that these five sectors are possible roles, or let me say these five roles are possible opportunity for me to function within the green economy. I want each and every one of you to have minimum of five minimum. Each of you, I want you to have leave this session today having, five. All right. So, someone is saying indeed, discovering the green aspect, aspect of our job is a starting point. The green economy is vast. Really, it's because we are bound by time. If I had more time with you today, I'd even show you that it is more than all of this. It is more than all of this. So as I'm gradually approaching the end of this masterclass, what I want you to leave here with today is that renewable energy may be leading for now, as it remains the largest absorber of green talent. However, ESG is accelerating fast. In fact, the fastest accelerating sector, or the fastest accelerating sector. So if you want to catch the train, it's a good time to catch the train if you can. However, I would even say, why not even leave out renewables and ESG? And let's look at entry level runs. Let's look at entry level opportunities across different projects. So that when you position in that one as from early period now, by the time those ones too will become fast accelerating sector, you have become a force to reckon with in all of that. And the good thing that I must tell you, you have learned this in your past sessions. That's why I don't want to dwell more on it again. How Africa is well positioned within all of this. So I don't want to bore you with long talks. Ladies and gentlemen, uh, here we have come to the end of this session, and I hope you have had one or two things to learn so far. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayowa, for such an engaging, insightful, and thought-provoking session. I must say, I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. And from the comments we've been seeing throughout the session, it's clear that our participants enjoyed it as well. Participants like Ganyat and many others have been actively following the discussion and sharing their reflections, which shows just how relevant and impactful today's topic has been. I particularly appreciate how you simplified the concepts of green skills and highlighted practical opportunities that young people can explore without necessarily needing any huge capital or years of experience to get started. Your examples of emerging roles such as climate communication, sustainability, storytelling, ecotourism, content creation, and other hybrid green careers were both eye-opening and encouraging. Thank you so much once again, Mr. Mayowa, for investing your time, for sharing your knowledge, and inspiring us to think differently about skills, opportunity, and the future of work. At this point, we'll open the floor for questions, comments, and reflection from our participants. If you have a question for Mr. Mayowa, kindly drop it in the chat and we'll take them one after the other. Wow, this is wonderful. We have some comments here. I was actually scared on switching to green economy rules. Okay, then we have a question from Ganiat. What would you say to some of us considering building green innovative products that requires collaboration and insight into green research? Tamayowa, did you get that?
Yes, I think I do. And I think I would say I understand the angle where Madam Ganiat is coming from. So, considering building green innovation products that requires collaboration and insights into green research. Yes, I'd say anything is possible. And if I'm not wrong, I think I know about your work, Madam Ganiat. You're working, you're trying to embed your chemistry knowledge into creating, into addressing plastic waste pollution, if I'm not wrong. I think plastic sachets, trying to make the best out of plastic sachets using your chemistry knowledge. All right. So you you actually need that insight into green research. You really need it. And the good thing is here, community is a great asset to anybody. Community is a great asset. And that is why it is always surprising to me at how we are not fully harnessing clean assembly. You have a project you're working on. Why suffer working alone when you have a community of like minds that you can easily just say, oh, hey, I have this thing going on. Do we have anybody here that have an idea or a resource, or is there some knowledge you can share with me to be able to better this thing? Of course, not every time myself may not have the opportunity of engaging one-on-one, but what happens is that you may find it funny that exactly what you're thinking about, another person on the group is thinking about, even working on it already, and you can actually collaborate to actually make this happen. But then I say, uh, with the resources we have and that abounds so much around us today, green building innovative products, they will thrive. They will really thrive. I must give this to you. If you're following up with Green Building Council of Nigeria, they have an ongoing project. I think, if not, maybe youth empowerment exchange program or something like that. I can't remember again. The program has been ongoing. They have their presentation. They had their presentation yesterday and the day before. So what are they doing with it? They call for people with innovative solutions within the green building, or within green innovative products, that green sector anyways. They call for innovations around that sector. So what they will now do is that they will pair your idea. It's just your idea, right? So when everybody comes with the idea that they have, when you register, they will now pair your ideas together as a group. So when they pair your ideas together as a group now, it means that you fall in the group of people of like minds. And I think the last presentation I was watching, right, I saw these three amazing youngsters that are trying to make an alternative to air conditioned use in buildings. And I remember that sometimes maybe last month, earlier this month, I also came about that solution somewhere. I think this is not from, it's from somewhere in Africa, where some guys have designed and released a prototype of another kind of air conditioning system that doesn't emit, heat. Because these are some of the other issues that we have within the sustainability sector. When something is it could be a solution and at the same time be a problem. So some persons have been considering for some times now that, oh, while your air conditioning system is giving you chill, it's giving you chillant within the building, it is always releasing heat, contributing to global warming, right? While you that you are inside the house, you'll be enjoying, it's still contributing to some other problems. So it was what motivated this other guy um to say, oh, I want to make this kind of air conditioning system that doesn't, release or contribute to global warming. And he has made the prototype, which actually makes sense. So I tell you, Madam, that's I think I'm addressing Madam Ganiat's question now. So I tell you, please be open to collaborations. Be ready to do the job. Resources abound. All right. And maybe one other thing is, don't worry, reach out to Madam Juliana after the call. Reach out to Madam Juliana after the call or so. We will see some other ways where we can contribute to that research and uh, you know, simplify it as much as we can. All right.
All right, thank you. So I'll be reading some few comments here. We have Aminu said this is insightful. We have Juliana Jonathan, I've learned a lot. We have Uche, great thoughts, very engaging. Well done, Mr. Mayowa and Team CLEIIN. Thank you very much. Then we have Suleiman. Thanks so very much for this insightful knowledge. Well impacted. I agree with you, Suleiman. Then we have a question here. Are there special climate related tools one needs to learn to remain competitive? Mr. Mayowa, did you get that? Are there special climate related tools one needs
Yeah,
to learn to remain
yes,
competitive?
I got it. Thank you. I got it. Thank you. So I think what I want to say to that is there are tools. There are tools, just as what I've explained this evening. Let's not really see this whole climate thing when we talk about it. Let's not see it as something extra out of the ordinary like that. When it comes to the job aspect of it, right? The job aspect of it, let's not really see it as something extraordinary. Let's look at it from the angle of our everyday business, everyday operation. All right. What are the tools that you use in your daily operation, in your daily business? Let's even start from there. In fact, as a person, can we even talk about how can you empower yourself with certain skills? Skills like communication. Can you communicate very well as a person? Skills like time management. We've talked about report writing today. We've talked about data analysis, calendar management, literally skills that you don't really see as big skills. They are what adds up to make you a productive person. But then, to really put perspective to the question that you have asked, there are many tools that you can learn on. One of the tools, I think you can look at tools that helps you to learn or to do carbon calculation. Carbon calculation, carbon analysis. Carbon analysis, it's one of the good aspects that you may try to learn on. And what do I mean by that? You want to evaluate the how much carbon emission a particular person or an organization is emitting. There are tools which you can use to do that. Another one in that same category could be waste analysis or energy consumption too. Guys that does renewable energies, they would know when they are trying to calculate energy usage, because it is your energy need that would determine the system that they would develop for you. If all the energy you'll be using within your house is supposed to be 25 watts, they would give you an energy system that is not much more than maybe around 25 watts to 30 watts, just to accommodate a little bit of excess. They will not give you about 2 times your energy need. It will not make sense, but it takes some calculation. So there's still some tools also that can allow you to learn on energy calculation or energy management and all of that, and even much more. The same question that you have asked me now, put it there in your browser, put it in any of your search engine, and see how much more recommendations that it will bring for you. It will bring even much more recommendations that I'm able to share with you. All right. But based on, of course, just to be able to answer it in a little bit, I think those tools, and we've said it before, data analysis, you would need it. Research tools. Look at the question that Madam Gania asked now. It will need you to do a lot of research before you are able to come up with a definite solution to that problem. In fact, I think everybody should have a research tool. Of course, if I do not have a research tool, you probably would not have enjoyed the section that you enjoyed today. I had to do some good research to come up with those findings that were used to teach you today. So about everybody there is no way you can't go wrong with a research tool within the climate sector. We've also talked about communication skills, and they are bound like that. Just as I've just said, put the same question in your browser, and there'll be much more answers to get. And that's because we're actually trying to save time. All right. So thank you.
All right, thank you for that wonderful response, Mr. Mayowa. So we have a few comments here. We have Abraham saying, thank you so much, Mr. Mayowa. It's indeed an illuminating class. Then we have Geraldine, it's very insightful. Thank you, sir. Then we have, thank you, Mr. Mayowa. That was a great presentation. Thank you so much, sir. It seems today most of our participants enjoyed today's session. So if you have more questions, please kindly drop your questions in the chat box. I expect you guys to have lots of questions. We all enjoyed Mr. Mayowa's session, so let's bombard Mr. Mayowa with questions. All right, before we come to the end of this session, if you guys don't have question, I have question for every one of you, our participants. So I want you all to write in the chat box, what is one skill you plan to develop before the end of 2026? Yeah, one skill you plan to develop before the end of 2026. Let's see those comments. Let's see the commitments there. Start dropping them. One skill you plan to develop before the end of 2026. Let's keep them coming in the chat box. Okay, we have Juliana, research skill. We have data sciences, ESG facilitation, EIA specialist. Amazing, amazing. Let's keep it coming. Professional climate storytelling. Let's keep it coming. Beautiful, amazing. CNG conversion. Wow, that's nice. Keep it coming. And please don't just type it and forget it. Let's consider this your public commitment by typing it in the chat. You're making a promise to yourself and to everyone here that you will take at least one deliberate step towards developing that skill before the end of this year. So we are all witnesses to this. Mr. Mayowa will hold them to this. All right, thank you so much. Okay, we have climate action advocacy and mental health wellness specialists. Then we have a comment from Mr. Mayowa. Thank you, Mr. Mayowa, for your response and suggestion. I just saw a lot now. I guess that's the person that Mr. Mayowa asked to make some research. I plan to obtain a project management certification and improve on my communication skills. That's a good one. Data analysis skills, research and data analysis on climate, precision farming expertise. Amazing. That's beautiful. It's good to know that we all have one goal, one thing we plan to achieve before the end of the year, one skill we plan to develop and achieve before the end of the year. And God's willing, God will help us to achieve it. So as we come to the end of today's session, I would like to sincerely thank our session lead, Mr. Mayowa, for sharing his time, his knowledge, and insights with us today. Today's conversation has reminded us that the future belongs not necessarily to those who know everything, but to those who are willing to keep learning, adapting, and growing. To everyone who joined us today, thank you for your participation, contribution, and engagement. As we celebrate World Youth Skills Day 2026, I encourage each of us to leave this session with a commitment to learn one new skill, improve one existing skill, and use our skills to create positive impact in our communities. Remember, the skills we develop today shape the opportunities we access tomorrow. On behalf of Clean Africa and the Eco Geek Talent Program, thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful day, stay inspired, and continue building the skills needed for a shared future. Happy World Youth Skills Day 2026. Thank you and bye for now.